We are here recapping 247, man.
Yes, we are.
God, what a great card, don't you think?
Overall, yes. We had some weird things happen with this card, though.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been a UFC event without a little bit of controversy. There's always something happening at a UFC event. There's always something to talk about. There's always some talking points. Everyone's always excited about something, whether it's, the judging in this case or, maybe a bad stoppage in a ref's case. But, luckily there weren't many bad stoppages tonight.
No, there weren't stoppages. It wasn't the referees. It was the judges that we had the problems with.
Yes. Yeah, the judging was really suspect tonight. There was one fight in particular, Ewell versus Jonathan Martinez in the early fight past prelims. Man, it was a great fight, by the way. Both guys really brought a good, tough pace for each other to follow and hitting with big power shots. It was a really good fight. But Jonathan Martinez was really shining in the second and third rounds especially. And even we watched the fight just tonight, and, Jonathan Martinez looked like he won the first round as well. So one judge gave all three rounds No.
Or paying attention at all. And Anik said something that was hilarious. He was like, that's a conclusion you get to if you're drunk. I mean, basically is what he was saying. He's like, I don't know how you come to that conclusion sober.
Yeah. It's really embarrassing, honestly.
It is embarrassing. It's embarrassing for the sport in a lot of ways.
Yeah, really embarrassing. I mean, Jonathan Martinez fought his heart out that whole second half of the fight. He fought a great fight. He was hitting a lot of those front kicks. I don't know what this guy was watching. I don't know exactly what fight Joe Rogan and John Anik were watching when they said this, but at one point during the night, they said, I am literally staring at a judge, and he is staring at the ground right now. We're not even watching the fight.
And how do these commissions approve that?
It's
like guys who aren't even paying, or judges that aren't even paying attention to the fights. Like, that sucks, man. And these guys are putting their lives out on the line, like, for real.
Yeah.
Like, these guys are fighting in a cage against each other. That cage is locked behind them. And the judge doesn't even have the common courtesy to watch a fight that he's judging.
Yeah.
That's insane. Like, that doesn't even make any sense.
It's honestly disgusting. And it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing for the sport. And for the commentators, for them to have to actually feel like they need to say something live.
Yeah, to say that they need to point it out.
Yeah.
I mean, it must be pretty egregious.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I feel so bad for Jonathan Martinez, especially because I honestly do feel, a lot of people are saying this word, we'll get into the main event later, but robbery was a real popular word last night.
Yes.
But Jonathan Martinez most definitely was robbed, in my opinion.
Yeah, I thought he looked great.
Yeah, looked really good.
And, I mean, all power to Ewell. I mean, it sounds like he broke his wrist during that fight.
Yep.
And he continued to fight on. I believe it was like early second round or late first round, he broke his wrist from that kick, from that head kick. And he still fought the whole time. And he had a really good poker face on. And it wasn't like he wasn't fighting. It was just like Martinez looked great that night. He looked great.
Yeah,
but both of them have a bright future for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Like Dominick Reyes said, you got to use both your hands when you're blocking kicks like that. So we can't be surprised that he got injured.
Of course.
So yeah, but really disgusting on that judge's behalf. I don't know what the hell he was watching. Obviously he hasn't watched an MMA fight before. Yeah. I can't be too harsh on these commissions. Especially in Texas, they probably only go to Texas once a year, really. It's not too often UFC is going to Texas. I think they go to Dallas every year. I don't know if they went to Houston last year. I'm not quite sure. They went to San Antonio maybe twice a year. So, the commission really needs to get their stuff together.
Yeah.
It's just a little gross. But, there's one prelim fight we do want to talk about. Local guy from Portland, Oregon, Journey Newson. He's
still on the early prelims. That was the last one on the early prelims.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, he was a little bit of an underdog. He was fighting a hometown boy, Diego, I believe was his name. I should have wrote it down.
Domingo,
yeah. Never even heard of the guy. He was making his UFC debut, and apparently he had a lot of hype behind him. But man,
and for the 38 seconds this fight was going on, I mean, the guy was throwing good strikes as well.
Yeah, he was throwing heat. I mean, he landed that head kick in the first 10 seconds, really rocked Journey. And I was like,
Journey even said so. He's like, he dazed me a little bit, but I stuck to the game plan.
Yep,
in that post-fight interview.
Exactly, stuck to the game plan. He was looking for that big right hand, and boy, did he land it.
He landed it.
Pinpoint.
And you watch that back in slow motion, he put everything behind that punch. You're just like, holy shit.
All his power, all in one shot, and it worked perfectly, man. It was what a great strike. Good fight, man. Deserves a little shout out for sure.
Shout out, especially for fighting out of Portland, Oregon.
Yep. Hopefully he comes to that April 11th card, man. That'd be cool. Get the fight in front of his own hometown.
Could. Almost 8 weeks out. That's about what, 12, 16 weeks out.
Yeah,
and in 38 seconds they're gonna pass him right away medically. So
yeah, he could definitely
he could
get a
be
fight.
on that Portland Oregon fight.
Well,
which that's pretty cool. We should talk about that real quick.
We should.
The fact that that was kind of just announced. It's Walt Harris versus Alistair Overeem for the headline.
Yep.
For the main event fight for the Portland Oregon card, April 11th.
Yeah. So. Yeah, we're really excited for that card. We are locals. We are living in the Portland metropolitan area, so we're definitely be trying to go to that fight. You know, yeah. I mean, we're thinking about International Fight Week maybe a little bit, but now that it's coming to us into our backyard and our neck of the woods, man, we're definitely going to be there.
And we also have the Karate Hottie and Esparza on that card too, right?
Great fight. Yeah. And Vicente Luque versus Randy Brown, another great matchup.
Luque had a tough outing against Wonderboy Thompson, but he's a great fighter.
Oh, great fighter. Very good striking skills. Very good on the ground as well. You know, just couldn't do it against Wonderboy. Wonderboy is one of the best counter strikers in the game. And
he'll learn from it. You know.
Yeah. I could watch that guy fight all day and night long. He's so entertaining. Forget about those tyrant fights. Those ones weren't entertaining, but Wonder Boy usually is one of the most entertaining guys in the sport. Yeah, but dude, you know, our competition started, you know, this was our first real time we made predictions, and we're actually doing our point system. So let's just get into our picks. You know, let's talk about the fights that were on the prelims that we did pick. So let's just start with Miles Johns and Mario Bautista. I really thought this was going to be a brawl coming into it, and it wasn't. It wasn't much of a brawl. It was very technical. Both guys are really picking and choosing their strikes, fighting a very smart. You could tell they both had really good game plans, and they were executing on them. And boy, what a great first round that was. Yeah. Both guys were landing really good. It was a close fight in that first round. Second round, another great round, really back and forth for as long as it lasted, but Mario Bautista with that quick little switch knee, that little flying knee. Wow, what a finish. Rocked him bad. You could tell Miles has never been hit like that. No. You know, he was not prepared for that at all. Rocked him bad, and it really didn't take much after that to get the finish. You know, he landed a few quick punches on the ground. Very clean by Mario Bautista.
Absolutely.
Very good job, you know. But I lost my points on that one. I took Miles John by unanimous decision. I did not see that coming, you know.
I don't remember. I don't have my prelims written down, but I believe I had Bautista second round TKO.
Yeah, I think you
so.
Did.
Yeah. So I'll go back and listen to our last episode, that little part again, so I can pick it up. But
you took him for sure, and it was a decision. So it's either second or third round, I believe.
But I'll listen back to it.
Yes, you got that point. You know, good pick, by the way. I mean, really, that you could have gone with either guy.
You could have. That's a pick 'em fight, absolutely in its own. So
yeah, they're both so good, both of them. But we also picked last pick we made on the prelims because the main event of the prelims fell through. Andrea Lee and Lauren Murphy.
Yes, we did.
Holy shit. I did not expect this fight to go this way at all. I didn't think they were just going to go in and just start firing right away and just beating the shit out of each other. They were going hard.
Yeah, they were. This
swinging.
Was a good fight, too.
Very good fight. And for 3 rounds nonstop of just swinging on each other. Not much head movement. Not much head movement at all. They were just eating punches left and right. Both of those girls, both of their faces. I think they could have
went away with a lot of the damage had they had just moved their heads. Yeah, people would have actually missed. But it was like they were playing Rock'em Sock'em Robots, where it was just like they were just staying in the pocket the whole time, not moving their head or anything. So, but it was a fun fight to watch, and it was entertaining because of that.
Very entertaining. You know?
And did you see how like Lauren Murphy she was pretty banged up after.
Dude, her face was a wreck.
Yeah. Like, I mean, yeah, it was all swollen and stuff.
It was bad.
Yeah, it was bad.
She was really getting pieced up there for a little bit. But she was hitting everything.
What did you have this fight scored? Like, honestly,
I had no idea.
Really?
I had no idea. Every round, I was like, I don't know who won that round. Especially the first. The first round was the one that was the closest to me. Second and third round, Lauren Murphy was definitely picking it up.
Right, and that's where I was okay with Lauren Murphy winning that fight.
Me too.
I had gone, 29-28.
And it was super close, split decision. It was such a close fight. I had no idea. After every round, I was like, all right, well, I see kind of both ways. Yep. Lauren was winning a few of those good exchanges, so I think she just nudged it out. That was a pretty good decision, even though, we were trashing the judges earlier, but that one wasn't that bad. I could see that one going either way.
We got to talk about the other prelim, or no, this was on the main card, wasn't? No, it wasn't. The Trevin Giles fight.
Yeah.
Versus James Krause.
Yeah. Took that fight on 24 hours, James Krause
Less
did.
than 24 hours. Wasn't it like a 20-hour notice?
Yeah, insane.
I mean, whatever, 4 hours, it doesn't matter, but that's insane.
Yeah,
man.
the guy definitely deserves a shout out, man. That guy, he was cornering another fighter.
And he was a lightweight, and the guy he's fighting is middleweight.
Yeah, a natural middleweight, and one that has knockout power, and he was beating the shit out of other middleweights on his way to the UFC. Had a lot of hype behind him. Also another local
he's
Houston
12-2,
guy. Yeah, crazy fight. He was blasting Krause there for a while, man. Just landed huge shots, but Krause took his back at one point.
He did. And
even was trying to sink in. He definitely won that first round. Krause definitely won that first round. Second, third rounds, man, he got underneath him and just started getting blasted. And definitely ate a lot of big, nice hooks, counter hooks. There was at one point in the third round, Trevin Giles was screaming, and he just knew he was winning the fight. Screamed, ah, and then just got blasted by a perfect counter at the same time. Instantly thought maybe I shouldn't be screaming.
Shouldn't be doing that anymore.
Yeah, I'm gonna get hit. I don't think he was really ever in some real danger of getting knocked out though. But man, James Krause. What a tough dude. I want to see this guy actually get a fight at welterweight or lightweight, so we could actually see what he could do. I mean, he's got wins in the UFC already. Let's see what he could do. Dana White definitely needs to toss this guy a little bit of a bone. Yeah. So let's just get right into the main card, dude.
Yeah, let's do it.
Derrick Lewis.
Derrick Lewis versus Ilir Latifi. This was an interesting one for me. We both completely wrong here. I went with the first round knockout with Derrick Lewis, but I also after I went back and we gave our predictions for this fight and stuff. I was like, I didn't bring up the wrestling at all with Ilir Latifi, and I kind of felt like an idiot because that's something I should have brought up. Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, if he gets inside and stuff, and I'm thinking, well, what the fuck, dummy? He could have just wrestled him too. It's Derrick Lewis.
Yeah, he's an Olympic caliber wrestler.
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't even bring it up last time. And then once the fight started and I saw that's kind of what was taking place, like Yair was trying to, get him on the ground, I was like, oh, okay, well, duh. Yeah, of course that's what he's going to do. That's his game plan. But the way I saw the fight, Derrick Lewis won.
Yes.
He won this fight.
He did.
And when I watched it back, initially I was pissed, but I was upstairs and it was a poker party and there were so many people.
There was too many distractions the first time I watched this as well.
Yeah. But then the second time I watched it and I realized something. I go, oh shit, Ilir Latifi, he's not landing anything. When he did take Derrick Lewis down, he wasn't dropping big elbows. He wasn't trying to advance position. It was basically just holding him down and not really making an attempt. But when Derrick Lewis was back on their feet, he was landing significant strikes against Latifi.
Yeah.
And I think that's the difference there. And yeah, maybe Latifi had control, but he never did anything with that control.
Yeah. There was times when I'd look down and I'd start watching the fight again, and it just looked like Latifi had him down. So at first I thought Latifi was winning the fight. But yeah, like you said, when we went back and watched it, Derrick Lewis was definitely winning most of the exchanges on the ground, if not all of them. I mean, not on the ground, on the feet. He was winning all of the exchanges on the feet, and he hit Latifi hard with some big strikes.
And credit to Latifi too. I mean, he took those like a champ. Yeah, like he took those. That's a poor reference, I guess, but he took it like a stud, like for real. Those punches.
He really did. He really
that's one of the biggest heavyweight knockout artists in the game. Right now,
has the most knockouts. I think he's tied already for the most knockouts heavyweight history. So he was hoping to break that record with this knockout, but unfortunately couldn't get it done. But Ilir Latifi, he's going to give a lot of guys problems at heavyweight. I think so. I don't know if he stays at heavyweight or not. He's mentioned that he's not too interested in going back to 205, but he will go back down. He's not scared. And when he was at 205, man, that guy was jacked and lean. This time you could tell he was eating real good. He was happy.
He was eating raw meat what he was doing. Yeah,
exactly. Just steak barely
every
off the
day.
Grill. Yep. Yeah, that guy was a beast, dude. He's going to give a lot of heavyweights problems. Lots of heavyweights problems. He could easily be top 10 heavyweight in this division. Let's just see, his wrestling is definitely good enough. Yeah.
Well, because we got to look at Derrick Lewis. He was a 6th ranked heavyweight fighter in the world.
Yeah. And he took him down and held him down
exactly.
For a period. I mean, he
he held his own at least, at the bare minimum. So.
Yeah, and there were times he pushed him up against the fence and just held him. Couldn't advance position, wasn't really landing any damage. So, good job by, I believe it was Big Dan Murgliata. He broke him up a few times, and those were really well-deserved separations.
They were. It wasn't too soon.
Yes.
It wasn't crazy shit like Maya on the back of
Usman.
And you're like, what the fuck is going on?
The most ridiculous separation ever.
Yeah.
Most ridiculous separation ever. People have debated that separation so much. People have talked about that. What the fuck are you doing?
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So but again, to go back to this point, it was all every single time he stood them up. I was like, okay, he has an advanced position in quite a while. He's not trying to. There's not a lot of action. He's given them a substantial amount of time. I thought it was all right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Derrick Lewis won this fight, so we both get the point. So that's another one for us. We didn't get the round or stoppage right, but we get the point. That's all that matters.
Yes, it does.
That's all that matters. We were right in the end. What do you see Derrick Lewis's next fight, man? Like, what do you see in his future? It wasn't a spectacular finish.
We had touched up on the heavyweight division prior.
Yeah.
But now Derrick Lewis wins at 6, but Latifi's not even ranked. It's him up and coming. I see maybe a big, not a big fight for Derrick Lewis. I mean, who is there? Who is there?
He might have to wait out for maybe the winner of this April card that we spoke of, Overeem and Walt Harris. I'd love to see Walt Harris fight. It's so unfortunate what happened with his daughter. It was such a sad story of her and her murder. Yeah. So
did they end up catching him?
I don't know. I think they had a suspect, and if it was the guy, I just don't know. I'm just kind of just bullshitting here, but if it was the guy, he's in jail. So I don't know.
Right, if it was the one that they initially brought in,
yeah,
but we don't know.
They're suspecting, yeah. But so sad, and it'll probably be maybe a year or two before we truly know what happened. Right. So, yeah, but I'd love to see Walt Harris. Maybe if he wins, if he knocks out Overeem, maybe he fights a Derrick Lewis. That's a great
true.
Fight.
Yeah. You throw that on a International Fight Week card.
Oh, yeah. Maybe a co-main event somewhere, or, International Fight Week, probably 2 title fights, maybe even 3, who knows?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but
I really wish for International Fight Week they'd go back to the 2-card model. That was so much fun.
Yeah.
Having 2 cards back to back. Like Friday, Saturday, Saturday, Sunday. Like, that's the coolest shit ever.
Yeah, and they did title fights back then. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, that's what they need to do. And, you don't have to have 2 title fights on just the pay-per-view. Have a title fight on
one and the other.
Exactly. Yeah. Have a title fight on ESPN. Like they're doing a title fight right now on ESPN Plus with Davidson Figueiredo and Benavidez. That's ESPN Plus. Do more of that. Especially with the women's titles. Let's have Amanda Nunes on ESPN Plus. Let's have a title fight on ESPN. Let's get the eyeballs to the sport. Come on, UFC. It's not that hard. Get it on ESPN. Get a belt. Get some gold on ESPN, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, I like that. I like that idea. And it's great for ESPN, too. I mean, imagine
really
how many eyeballs that would bring if you just put one entire card on that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but Derrick Lewis, man, great job. He had a great fight, and he really executed on his game plan. It was just to go knock Latifi's head off. He didn't quite get that done, but, he blasted him with some big shots. But, the next fight after that, man, it was Dan Ige and Mirsad Bektic.
Yes.
Holy shit, what a good fight.
It was a great
fight. Split decision and
and it was a back and forth fight too.
Yes, it was.
I mean, the first round was all Ige. Where I was like, I don't think this is getting out of the second. Mm-hmm. And then we get to the second round, and Ige does his famous round 2, where
takes
it's just
a break or something.
He
just doesn't show up. It's like his soul is just, all right, I won the first round. Like, I don't know what it is. It's like he knows he's going to get the decision or something.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's very weird. He kind of just let Mirsad implement his own game plan. He kind of just waited for these exchanges to start, and he was losing every single one.
Yeah.
And really weird to see that. It's because he came out in the third round, and it was like a totally different fighter. He just came out firing.
And then, exactly. And then in the third round, he comes out, and you're like, whoa, where was this guy in round 2?
Exactly.
We saw him in round 1, took some time off in 2, and then he just put the pace on round 3.
Yeah, he did the exact same thing in the Kevin Aguilar fight.
Yeah.
So
Aguilar.
If this becomes a regular thing, Dan, dude, I'm a little nervous for you, man, because you cannot do stuff like this when you're fighting elite level guys. If you take a round off like that against a Brian Ortega, someone like that's going to take your back. You know, there's a good chance you get choked out. I know you roll with some of the best monsters in the world, but you cannot be doing stuff like that. You cannot take rounds off when you're fighting top level competition, which I believe he should get after this win. Yeah, he'll fight a ranked guy for sure.
So he called out the Korean Zombie. I don't see him getting that fight.
No, me neither.
He's unranked. Mirsad Bektic was unranked as well.
Yep.
Or no, maybe was Bektic? Yeah, he was unranked.
I'm pretty sure he was unranked.
Yeah, I don't think he was 14.
Yeah,
he was either 14 or unranked. But so I mean, to get the Korean Zombie, I just don't know. I don't see that.
No. Korean Zombie's in a position right now where he's only going to get like a Zabit Magomed Sharipov or a Brian Ortega, something like that. He was supposed to fight Brian Ortega already. Brian Ortega had to drop out of that fight in South Korea, you know. So who knows? You know, there were rumors going around that he was going to fight a Zabit Magomed Sharipov on UFC 249 in April, but it turned out that that wasn't true and that the Korean Zombie's still injured right now. You know, he's going through those eye injuries. I think he has a detached retina or something like that.
Really? That's not good.
No, not good. So that he could be out for a little while. Hopefully it's not so serious. Hopefully it's something that, you know, he can either get taken care of quickly with surgery or some sort of medicine. But yeah, only wish him the best. Hopefully he comes back real soon. But Dan Ige, man. This guy deserves a top guy. You know, it doesn't have to be a top 10 guy. Let's give him a top 15 guy. You know, let's see how he really does against a guy who maybe like
So like a Josh Emmett.
Exactly. That would be a great fight. That's exactly what I was thinking of. Calvin Kattar, another great fight. You know, I don't think we should throw him straight to a Calvin Kattar's fighting.
How about this one?
Stevens.
How about this one? This matches up with the time and everything else. We just saw Arnold Allen fight.
Oh.
He won. I mean, I know Allen's trying to move up in the ranks because he's 15. But that might be a fun fight.
That would be an extremely fun fight. Both guys are great strikers. Both guys have great cardio. And both guys are great grapplers, too. Very well-balanced fight. Yeah. You know, both guys are very well-matched everywhere.
You know what's really funny about the featherweight division, though, is everyone is trying to stay away from Ryan Hall.
Yes.
No one wants that.
Great name drop because that's a guy who deserves a big fight too.
Yes,
he needs to fight a top opponent.
He can't find it though. No one wants to fight that guy.
No one wants to fight that guy.
And I can't say I blame him. Do you want to get heel hooked in 20 seconds?
No, and then have to sit out 10 months because you ripped your knee in half.
Or you blow your Achilles out. No, I'm good. I'm not touching that, man.
No, I'm not surprised.
No,
crazy dude. This guy, the UFC. Force these guys' hands. Get this guy a damn fight. He needs to fight. When was his last fight? He fought not too recently, and he heel hooked the dude in really quickly. I think it was the first round. So, and we all saw when he did that to BJ Penn.
Yeah,
disgusting what he did to his knee. I cannot believe that guy still was trying to fight after that. Have your knee reaped like that.
He beat Elkins.
That's right.
In a 3-round decision though, in that one, but the sub was Penn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Inmanari roll, man, that guy's got some of the cleanest jiu-jitsu in the game. I would love to see him and Brian Ortega in a grappling match. You know, it didn't even have to be a UFC fight. I'd love to see him punch too, but just a straight-up grappling match would be amazing. That guy's got probably the best jiu-jitsu other than maybe Brian Ortega. Yeah. I don't see anybody matching him on the ground, so very dangerous fight for anybody in that division. It's Ryan Hall. So the fight after that, man... Juan Adams.
Well, hold on. So we got to go point system here.
Oh, points. That's right. Yep.
I had picked Mirsad Bektic, so obviously I am completely out of this one. Yep. However, you picked Ige.
Yeah, I also picked him by decision, so, you know, that's 3 points right there.
3 points.
So that is 4 points, I believe, for me. Yep. 4 points with Derrick Lewis and Dan Ige. Juan Adams. Man, I really thought this guy was going to get the knockout. I did not have my faith in Justin Tafa. Tafa. Oh,
I picked Tafa to knock out, or I picked it either decision or knockout. I don't remember.
You said knockout.
Did I?
Yeah.
Shoot. Dang.
I think you said first round too.
Okay. Well, I'll listen back to that. Or no, I have that. I have that information. Nonetheless, yeah, man, I've seen this guy fight. Mirsad Bektic was number 14. He was 14th ranked, by the way.
It's weird they're not showing it.
I know it is weird that they don't ever show it.
No, they show it for title fights. Mm-hmm. You know, weird. So Dan Ige's got to fight someone. If he's got a number by his name, he's got to fight someone big.
Yeah, that's what I would assume.
Zabit. If the Zabit and Brian Ortega fight doesn't happen in April, Zabit versus Dan Ige. I want it, Dana White. Make that fight happen. Okay. That would be such a great fight. Zabit has got such good striking, man. That guy is... he's the Russian Bruce Lee. He's the Russian Muslim Bruce Lee, dude. That guy is a savage striker, and I cannot wait to see that guy's next fight. It has been a while since we've seen him fight.
It's unbelievable. I didn't write mine down for that, so...
you said first round knockout, Tafa. Okay. I'm just gonna give it to you, dude. That was
I'll check it anyway.
Yeah, that was a great fight as long as it lasted.
Yeah, it was.
You know, they were really swinging.
They were both
going for it.
Juan Adams is such a big guy, man. He's huge. So big. I think that, and this is a really weird thing to say, but he kind of reminds me of that kid who like grew into his body too fast. That he's not like as coordinated. Like he's definitely coordinated. He's a professional fighter. But he doesn't look to be at the same like athleticism as, you know, like a Dominick Reyes is, where you're like, wow, that guy's a specimen.
Yeah.
He's just like a big guy.
He's just huge. He's almost too big. It almost seems like he's lethargic in his movements. You know, I'm sure the guy is cutting a lot of weight to get to 266.
Probably. Yeah, he's
probably
like
30, 40 pounds.
Huge.
He's ridiculously big, you know. If there was a super heavyweight division, that guy would love his life.
Yeah, he
wouldn't have to diet, wouldn't have to be running. You know, and he doesn't look like the leanest heavyweight ever. He's got some chunk on him, but you know, big guy, and he hits very hard. I was expecting him to land a big right hand and just put Tafa to sleep, like De Castro was able to. Mm-hmm. But you know, we all saw what happened, man. Freaking, he pushed him up against the fence, had him down low, hit him with the big uppercut, and just rocked him bad. And after that, all it took was one big right. Man, and you know, with heavyweight power, all it takes is one, and that's all it took for that, man. He was done.
Just see his knees buckle right after that, and he does that famous fall that a lot of guys do when they're next to the cage like that, and you're just like, yep, show's over.
The guy was done, even though he was trying. You know, he was trying to go for a little bit of a takedown.
He was, and he, you know, for what it was, tried, but he was out.
He was done. I thought it was
a correct stoppage.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean. If that was a correct stoppage, then what was going on with Pat Barry, Czech Congo, which is one of the greatest fights I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. But
and I don't understand how that fight wasn't stopped 3 or 4 times.
It was nowadays that fight would
have been stopped.
You know, the UFC isn't what it used to be a few years ago. No. A few years ago, they just let dudes just, oh, you're not unconscious yet? I ain't stopping the fucking fight. I don't care if you're getting your ass kicked.
It used to actually be the old like UFC 1 days.
Yep.
It was like you don't go until you tap.
Yeah, dude, and that wasn't too long ago. You know, maybe 6 years ago, maybe they started stopping it a little early, maybe 5 years. It hasn't been that long since the good old days. The good old days where you went to sleep or you're just getting pounded out till the clock goes off. Yeah, but, you know, Justin Tafa, you know, great job, man. He had good accuracy. And,
he did. He
really landed the power shot, and that's all you need to do in heavyweight division, man. It doesn't matter how, you don't have to be the most jacked dude in the world. Mm-hmm. You could have a big old beer gut. Who gives a shit? Oh, yeah. As long as you hit hard, knock him out in one punch, you're going to be a good heavyweight. Especially in that division, you know, there's not a whole lot of names in that division right now. That division is really looking for some new talent. And Walt Harris and Justin Tafa, you know, those guys are exactly what the heavyweight division needs. They need some new talent. They need some new names. You know, Bam Bam Tai Tuivasa was the local out of New Zealand, and you know, he had that little skid. He's one of Justin Tafa's friends. Had that little skid, so you know, we're looking for new names in New Zealand, and Justin Tafa might be it. I have no idea who he fights next. Anyone.
Yeah, anyone.
He's only 4-1. You know, the guy's had 5 fights. He needs to develop. Throw him in there with anybody. You know, let's see some more one-punch knockouts. You know, give him Greg Hardy.
Good luck, pal. Juan Adams is like, nah, you don't want Greg Hardy. He put me to sleep too. Yeah.
Give him Greg Hardy. Fuck it. Throw him to the wolves.
Yeah.
Throw him to that behemoth.
Wolves. No kidding. Who's Hardy fighting? I forget.
Jorgen De Castro.
That's right, De Castro. Yeah,
that's
guy
who knocked him out.
Relevant. Yeah.
So that guy's praying that De Castro fucking knocks Greg Hardy out. Probably. That guy's scary, man. Yeah, more NFL player. Oh yeah. More NFL players.
Well, he's just a natural athlete. So he just transitioned so well into fighting because he's in shape, and he knows what it takes to be that next level athlete.
And he was pretty good.
He's done it his whole life. Yeah.
Yeah, he was pretty good at fighting before he got into MMA too.
Who, Greg?
He was beating up his girlfriend and shit like that.
Damn,
he's a piece of shit. So people were hating on him so much when he first got into the UFC.
You know, they're a lot of Yeah,
it's hard.
I'm staying away from it. Yeah, no, I absolutely not.
You weren't, and
yeah.
let's make that clear.
Yeah, I'm not defending it, but
that guy was getting a lot of heat. And I agree.
It's just socially for me. It's like, where do we say the man can never make a living ever again?
I agree, 100%.
He needs to pay for what he's done, which I think he has.
Yeah.
According to like the law and stuff like that, but. Do we just say, no, he's not allowed to make money or be anyone ever again for the rest of his life? That's where, for me, it's kind of like, well, he's a fighter now. I get that you don't like him. You have every right not to like him as a person, but he should be allowed to fight and make a living like anyone else.
I agree. 100%.
So that's kind of where I stand with Greg Hardy.
And that's been like the big talking point with Greg Hardy over his last few fights. Everyone's like, the guy deserves to make a living. The guy should be able to put money on the food for his kids, or put money on the food, put food on the table. He needs.
If my dad put money on my food,
I'd be real happy just to garnish,
Dad. And then I would eat the food right afterwards. So it's not really that bad.
No, he deserves to make money for his kids.
Yeah,
he does, and and he's in this weird position where he kind of is like playing a heel, and he kind of is playing this little bit of a bad guy. Might work out for him in the end, especially if he keeps knocking dudes out. He might need to
go talk to Colby Covington, or maybe talk to Jon Jones about how he worked his career.
Yeah, and he trains at AT&T, so I'm sure he's been talking to Colby.
Yeah, definitely.
But man, that fight led right into our first title fight of the night, man. Dominant champion Valentina Shevchenko.
She's incredible.
So incredible. Joe Rogan said it best. This woman is an assassin.
She is an assassin, a true-born assassin. And it's like, I have never been so terrified, yet oddly, weirdly, super attracted to a girl that I know that could beat the living hell out of me and make me cry and go, no more, please, put me to sleep. And I'm still just like, she's one of the best of all time is what I'm trying to say. It's a little convoluted there, but there are a lot of emotions going on inside of me when you talk about Valentina Shevchenko, because she is the most dominant champion other than Amanda Nunes I think women's sports has ever seen. Who's next for?
No, there's no one next for.
You got Calderwood, maybe.
Hopefully me.
Maybe Maya.
Yeah.
But that's it. She's wiped out everyone else.
I have no idea.
Carmouche, there's no one.
Jessica I has been tweeting already. She wants that rematch. Literally no one wants to see it.
No, I don't think anyone does.
No one wants to see it.
And that's no, God, it's just brutal. It's brutal, man. Valentina's a killer.
She is so dangerous. Not only in her striking and her stand-up, but she is so dangerous on the ground. I mean, dude, that elbow in the first round, when she blasted her with that elbow right at the end of the round, sliced her right open, that was a deep cut.
It was.
And it was a perfectly placed cut, because then the blood's running right in her eyes the entire second round, which totally set her game off. She wasn't able to see. She's constantly wiping her head. She didn't even get a chance to counter-strike because she was too busy worrying about the blood in her eyes. I can't say that maybe her tactic, maybe it was, maybe she knew dropping that elbow would slice her up in that way. She has so much power with every limb, and it doesn't matter where she is. It doesn't matter if she's in tight little spaces. She has perfect technique. Her hands were never on the canvas. Her limbs were never in danger. And Katlyn's pretty good off her back. She's got really good jiu-jitsu. So I was very impressed with Valentina, as always. I've never watched a Valentina fight and ever been like, man, she's not very good.
No, and she's amazing. Good. She's good everywhere. She's good standing up. She's good on the ground. She's good with her hands tied behind her back.
Yeah.
Like, she is just born to do this. And you like, we were watching the post show for UFC 247. They're interviewing her, and she's literally like, yeah, this is my life. This is what I do. This is it. There's nothing else going on in Valentina Shevchenko's life. All it is mixed martial arts.
Besides, like, murdering presidents and
right,
stuff
of
like
course.
that.
She is a spy.
Yeah, she's totally a spy.
Right,
Russian spy. Yep. She says she's from Kyrgyzstan. She's full of shit. She's a spy. Just ask Ben Askren. We all know.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got connections. She could kill any of us easily.
I don't know what's next for. I look at this whole list here. Roxanne Modafferi is number 5, and it's I don't want to see that. Poor Roxanne would get murdered. And she's very good on the ground too, but there's no way she would be able to compete with a Valentina. It's different. It's different with Valentina Shevchenko, man.
It's because it's not just power. It's technique.
And it's fight smarts too.
Exactly.
Like you watch
IQ.
every Valentina Shevchenko fight, she sets her shots up. She has a game plan for all 5 rounds.
Yes.
You know? Like
Yes.
she really does, and she sticks to her game plan to a T.
Yeah. She's prepared always. You can always tell that she does all her homework. She watches all the films she needs to do. She knows she said it herself. She knew exactly what Katlyn was going to do before Katlyn got the chance to do it. Nothing surprised her in the fight. She is so well prepared, and that's just a credit to her team, a credit to her sister, who's her main training partner, who's a savage also. Her only loss in her whole career was Roxanne, and we all know how good she is on the ground. But yeah, Valentina, man, she's going to have no competition for quite a long time. She's going to hold that belt for a very long time. There's no one that's going to be able to compete with her. No. You know, the Amanda Nunes fight and the Weili Zhang fight, those are the only 2 fights that really pique my interest with her. We'll have to wait and see with this division.
And Weili Zhang, she'll have to move up.
Oh, yeah.
Or Zhang Weili.
And Dana said he wants all these women, you know, because we're all talking about super fights, moving up, moving down, blah, blah, blah. You know, he wants these women to defend their belts. He wants them to stay in their respective divisions. And, you know, I respect that. Let's get these girls, let's get them hitting some numbers. Let's get them breaking some records. Let's get their names out there before we just kill off a Zhang Weili with the Valentina Shevchenko
But I also
fight.
think the UFC is doing that because, you know, obviously you can't, at this point in time, you cannot sell majority of women title fights over, you know, a Conor McGregor card or a Jon Jones card. However, I think they are trying to do that, making these fights during co-main events.
Yeah.
You know, another title fight, a double title fight. I think they are, and I think they're doing a pretty good job overall of like trying to get the women's market out there.
Yeah.
And think about how little of time they've had to develop this. I mean, when did we start seeing women fight in the UFC? 2011?
I think it was later than that. I think it was like 2013 when Ronda Rousey became the first champion. You know, and they've done a very good job developing these divisions, especially the strawweight division. The strawweight division is easily the most stacked division in the women's UFC, for sure. You know, those girls are all savages. They're all so good. And the top 5 of that division are so much, like, they're on a whole nother level than the rest of the division. And you could tell. But when it goes to bantamweight and even flyweight now, it's like you got Valentina Shevchenko and you got Amanda Nunes, and there is nobody else.
Nope.
Just nobody. And it's almost unfortunate. They really need to develop that featherweight division. You know, Amanda needs to develop. She needs to defend that belt eventually, but there's no one for her to fight.
Well, and now you have like Bud, you have Chris Cyborg over in Bellator fighting featherweight.
Yeah,
you know they got some good matchups over there in Bellator as well too. And UFC's trying to build their featherweight division, the ladies featherweight division. And it is a very, very hard thing right now. And to bring it up, the first Ronda Rousey was signed November of 2012.
Oh, okay.
Was the first. So less than 10 years. We're at like what, year 8 of women's fighting, and I think they've done a good job overall. That was the point I was trying to make, promoting majority of women's sports in general. Yeah. But there's always superstars. You know who I think it's a travesty they don't promote more though? And that's the champ Amanda Nunes.
Yes.
They did so much publicity for 2 fighters, like Ronda Rousey and Paige Van Zandt. Yeah, both because they're attractive women.
Yes.
Guess what? It's a fight game. And yeah, okay, whatever. It's nice to watch a pretty girl fight. But nothing excites me more than watching Amanda Nunes or Valentina Shevchenko. Nothing.
Especially after that Chris Cyborg knockout.
I know. And I'm like, I don't understand why the UFC doesn't put more promotion towards your champions, your dominant women champions. Instead, they always they try to sell us the pretty girls who are decent fighters or whatever. Now, Ronda's a special case. Don't get me wrong. But, you know, they try to sell us these other fighters that are not at the caliber of these ones where they should be putting promotions towards them. It sucks. I hate it.
They never even gave Amanda Nunes a chance. You know, they've never promoted her correctly.
Well, imagine,
from the moment she won the belt with Rousey, they've never promoted her correctly. No. Not once.
And do you know how big of an audience you can gauge with being like, hey, this is the first openly gay champion of all time.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
That's a huge deal.
Yeah.
And that's a deal that you can broadcast out to the country and people will be like, oh, wow. Most people don't even know Amanda Nunes has a wife and is married to, what's her name? She's a great fighter.
God damn it, I'm brain farting.
Yeah, I know. Irritating.
Yeah,
Nonetheless,
whatever.
So.
Yeah, but Valentina Shevchenko, man, She is so good, and I cannot wait to see her next fight, even though we all know what's going to happen. She's going to win, but it's going to be a very entertaining fight regardless. That woman is an assassin. But, dude, the main event.
Nina Ansaroff.
That's right.
That's
yeah,
right.
Nina. Yeah, she's a little bit of a skid herself, but she might not even fight again. I think they're trying to start a family.
Yeah, they're trying to start a family. I think she may be getting pregnant, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, they're going to do a surrogate.
If that's true, congratulations. But, yeah, the main event, man. Holy shit.
Wow, what a fight this was.
What a fight.
This was awesome.
So insane. I just jumping right into it. Dominick Reyes coming right out of the back, cracking Jon Jones, hitting him with head kicks.
That first round was crazy. Yeah, he was going after him.
Going after him hard, landing big shots, really testing Jon Jones' chin out. And I wouldn't consider it a knockdown. It looked more of a slip. But on the books, that probably should have gone down as a knockdown.
As a knockdown, yeah.
So, that would have been the first time in his whole career, if that counted. No one's ever knocked down Jon Jones. Nope. And when he landed that right hand, little slip, that's all it took. That's a knockdown. Give that to him. Give him that chip and that belt. There's just, he was so confident coming into this fight. So
unbelievably confident, where you're starting to worry, like, hey, are you taking this guy too light right now?
Yeah, because it's Jon fucking Jones.
Right,
like,
the greatest of all
GOAT.
time, yeah.
Yeah, so insane that he won that first round. Not only won that first round, won it pretty convincingly, in my opinion. And
well, it was the first time I've seen in Jon Jones' career where he was literally running away from his opponent.
Yes.
That was the craziest thing. Because Jon Jones has always, to me, he's embodied just big alpha male energy when he's in the ring. Like, he's bigger than everyone. He's longer than him. And you see it always. You see his dominant standing position. This was the first time where you could see him like flinching and like cowering and kind of running a little bit. And it was just so shocking to me to see that for once, where it was like, oh my God, Jon Jones is completely on the defensive here.
Yes. I knew Dominick Reyes' boxing was good. I knew he would land. I didn't think it'd be that good to get inside and land that much. But one thing that really shocked me with Dominick Reyes, and he did it so well, was, man, this guy's kicks. He never let Jon Jones control his legs.
Nope.
Every time Jon Jones lifted his leg, Dominick Cruz said this so well. Every time Jon Jones lifted his leg, Dominick Reyes fired a leg kick or fired a kick of his own. He never let Jon Jones move his leg without getting hit.
Yep.
Even if that means they're both leg kicking at the same time and clashing shins in the middle, which is extremely painful for both men. Extremely painful. You can only do that so much before your leg gives out. And these guys were doing it multiple times.
Yeah, they were.
Doing it hard and a lot. Fast. That might be the blueprint to stopping Jon Jones, man. He did not let Jon Jones walk. He could not let Jon Jones move. And that's where Jon Jones is at his best, is when he's controlling the distance and controlling the movement.
Yeah, and I agree with you on all that, but that wasn't the only thing that Dominick Reyes did really well, too. It's, again, he stuck to the body for all 5 rounds. It wasn't just the first round where, he's throwing a kick to the body or anything like that, or going to the body. He went to the body all 5 rounds, and he got Jon Jones tired. Now, Dominick Reyes in the 4th and 5th was really falling off. But I mean, so I think in a lot of ways, the Santos fight, I think, in some ways the Anthony Smith fight kind of opened up the blueprint, more so the Santos fight, to maybe how you can beat Jon Jones. I think Dominick Reyes took full measures and tried to implement that as best as he could. And I thought he did a really good job.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the judges' scoring real quick. Okay, so all 3 judges, it was a unanimous decision. Keep in mind the Thiago Santos fight was a split decision.
Yes.
This was a unanimous decision. The judges' scorecard was 248-47 and 149-46 for Jones.
Yeah, and that was the same judge that gave Ewell all 3 rounds earlier in the Martinez fight. So that judge obviously didn't know what the fuck he was watching.
At all.
That guy should never, ever be able to walk into an MMA event ever again.
And never be able to officiate. No,
yeah, disgusting. Awful. Disgusting. I don't know what the fuck that guy was watching. So when it comes down to scoring that main event, man, Jon Jones most definitely, to me, won those last 2 rounds. That's not a debate.
Oh, not even a question.
Not even a question. He dominated those. He got the takedowns. He did get hit a few times. He was backed up a few times, but he controlled the octagon. He dominated on the ground. He won those rounds for sure. The big question of the debate, Ariel Helwani said it himself. his round that was really hard to score was the third.
Which, in pulling up statistics, I had given this to go real quick. Jon Jones, I said he won 48-47.
Yes.
But the third round was a tough round for me as well.
Yes.
But then we get to the numbers and we go, oh wow, and you can always try to skim a number and try to make it look good for your side of the debate. But significant strikes was 26-19.
Yeah. And it was way more there was a way bigger differential in the second. Mm-hmm. In the second round,
it was 33-23.
The first time I watched the fight, the second round, I remember texting you. I was like, "Wow, it's 1-1 going into the third."
Yep.
I thought Jon Jones won that second round, and it was such a close round. But going back and rewatching it the second time, man, that round was so close. The third was so close as well. It is so hard to score those rounds.
It is.
But
to go 49-46 is gross.
Gross. Well, the third round, I thought Reyes won that round. For sure. I thought that round was more clear than the second, in my opinion. The big debate everyone online is saying is the third round. Everyone's really debating about that third round. I thought Reyes won that third round, and I thought he definitely won that third round. It's the second round where I really look at it and go, man, Jon Jones might have won that.
I got to watch that fight again, because that was the one fight I paid attention for, so I didn't rewatch it, like because everyone, we stopped the whole poker party, but... Mm-hmm. I got to go back and watch that again.
It's so close. So a lot of people online are mad saying that this was a robbery. Is it a robbery? I don't think so.
It's a robbery. No,
I don't think so.
I mean, the champ showed up rounds 4 and 5, and I do agree with Ariel when he says that he hates the idea of, you got to really take it from the champ.
Yeah,
because you don't have to take it from the champ. However, even if you thought you won the first 3 rounds, you still gotta account for judges. You got to account for judges, and. It's just, I don't think enough was done to solidify defeating Jon Jones. I really thought Jon won 48-47. I thought he won 3-2 in the rounds.
The first time I watched it, I thought Jon won the second and Jon won the fourth and fifth. Mm-hmm. So I gave it Jon 3-2 as well. Yeah. Looking back on it now, I really, really do see the side where they think Reyes won. It's one of those fights, man. DC tweeted about it. It's so close, it could have went to either guy.
Yeah, it could have.
It
just like the Santos fight could have went either way. In my opinion, I thought Santos won that fight. Going back and watching that fight, I'm like, I thought Santos did enough to win that fight.
Really? I thought this fight was closer than the Santos fight.
Really?
I thought Reyes had a better... I thought if you're going to give someone a win, if one of those fights, Jon Jones did lose and the scorecards were wrong, I would say it's Reyes.
Wow,
closer than Santos. Santos was definitely hitting him, but Reyes, especially in the first and the third round, was definitely he was a finishing threat. If he kept on landing on Jon Jones, he could have finished him probably. But Jon Jones is so good, and his chin
holy shit, we got to talk about his chin.
It's ridiculously good.
It's so good. We don't talk about it enough. He's going against killers.
Yeah,
killers in and out, and it just always holds up. We've never seen that man knocked out.
That was the 4th time in Dominick Reyes' entire career that he's been outside of the first round.
Wow.
This is the first time he's ever been into championship rounds. And he's only had one main event. Okay.
Yeah, and it lasted one round.
One round, exactly. The guy's a knockout artist. He knows what the fuck he's doing. He knows how to hit people. He knows how to hit the off button.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
He definitely hit Jon Jones on the off button multiple times, but it just didn't get switched.
Nope.
Jon Jones, he's got a legendary chin.
If
it can hold up and he keeps getting title defenses like this, especially close ones, if he let's say he rematches Reyes next, which we could talk about next.
Yeah, I was gonna say, where are we gonna go from here?
Yeah, but if he rematches Reyes next and he keeps getting blasted like that and still itches out a decision, he might go down as having one of the best chins we've ever seen. Maybe other than, even though I hate saying this, even though he did get knocked out by DC, but I think Stipe also has one of the best chins the heavyweight division has ever seen. Yeah, he lost to Struve, he lost to JDS, and we saw what DC did to him. But the DC, there's an asterisk there because of the Ngannou fight. It was so close. But yeah, man, Jon Jones, where does he go next? He cleaned out the division. He's beaten everybody in top 5. What do we do? Do we do Israel Adesanya? Was this fight close enough with Reyes that he needs the immediate rematch?
I think right now Santos is obviously dealing with his knees. Yeah. Who knows when he'll be back?
Yeah, and it could be a while, even though he's been out for a long time now.
You go DC. DC's not going to fight him again. We know that. The trilogy's not going to happen.
Why is he even still in the rankings? He's number 2 in the world at light heavyweight right now. that's a fucking waste of a spot. Like, what are they doing, UFC? Like,
yeah, but at the same time, they're trying to beef it up a little bit. I mean, because when you go down, you're kind of like, oh, I understand. I mean, Alexander Gustafson's still in the rankings.
True, and he technically retired.
And he retired too. So it's just and Johnny Walker's 11. Ilir Latifi's now 12.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not much going on here. So we look at DC. That's not going to happen. Third ranked in the world, Anthony Smith. He's fighting Textera. So it's like, that's not going to happen. He's going to fight Glover in, when is it? March or April?
It's March. So, yeah. and if he wins that fight, that's not a big enough win for him to get a title shot.
Or to get that rematch that he was dominated in.
Yeah.
So
no one wants to see that fight either. Like, no disrespect to Anthony Smith, but in the fashion he was dominated, no one's clamoring for that fight.
Of course not. So then you go down, you got Dominick Reyes. Well, that makes sense. But here's the only other one that I'd say maybe might get the next shot if he wins his next fight, and that's Corey Anderson.
Yeah.
And that's the fight coming up next weekend against Jan Blachowicz.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Preview coming soon for that. Yeah, I could see that fight, especially if Corey wins. You know, that
and
might
he
be...
wins like by a knockout or something. Yeah, you could do a rematch.
Yeah, and I think Jon Jones wants to stay at 205 because, you know, he was a little bit of a vegan diet coming into this camp. He was still eating meat here and there, but, you know, he was really doing a plant-based diet, and I guess he was 217 before he even cut weight.
Wow.
Yeah, it took him 20 minutes in the sauna, he said, to cut weight for this fight. So if he keeps on this diet plan, keeps as healthy as he has been, man, he can make 205 for a very long time. You know, Ariel Helwani said it best. You know, he gets one more fight, maybe a Corey Anderson fight at 205, and then moves up to heavyweight. But if he's gonna be 217 at heavyweight, that's a little too small, bud. You know, maybe he shouldn't be on a plant-based diet for that. But
well, what do you think? Maybe he's trying to cut weight to get that Izzy fight.
Maybe
you get a catch weight at 195 or even 200.
That'd 195 would be crazy, and he can make it if he's 217.
If he's 217?
Yeah, because he's 235 usually.
And it took him 20 minutes to cut weight? Yeah, he could get to 195.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy to think about, really.
Yeah, maybe that's what they're doing, man.
That would be awesome, but I don't see the Izzy fight happening. You know, Izzy said it best. International Fight Week 2021, Raider Stadium. And if that fight happens, holy shit. Imagine Raider Stadium, wild. They'd sell that out. I don't know. Maybe not the upper rows would be completely sold out, but it'd be pretty damn close.
Yeah,
the first stadium show in all of America, like that'd be a
crazy.
Huge event
that'd
to
be
go.
So wild.
Everyone expected that to be a Dallas stadium, you know.
Yeah.
So if it's in Vegas, a Raider Stadium,
even better.
Yeah.
Even better.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So it was a great card overall, man. I really enjoyed watching these fights. There wasn't the most numbers on the card, especially, you know, with the, you know, Justin Tafa, Juan Adams fight being on the main card, but you know, there was a great fights. There was a lot of great knockouts, man. There was one guy, I don't even remember his name. We couldn't even give him a shout out. You know, he got a quick knockout in the first round. I think he got a 30-second knockout as well. He's a welterweight. Shout out to that guy. Don't know your name. Yeah, good fight, though. Good fight.
Katlyn Williams.
Yep.
27 knockout against Alex Morono.
Yep, that was crazy, man.
Fight, yeah.
Big, blasted him with that uppercut, man. That was a crazy fight. Good fight, man. Man, Fight Pass fights, the early prelims really showed up for this card.
Yeah, Fight Pass is the best thing ever.
Yeah, I'm really glad that I watched those fights. There were some really good fights on that. Yeah, but...
So what's next for Dominick Reyes then?
I think...
You got to go rematch.
Yeah, well, Jon Jones said that there was a rumor of Dominick Reyes tore his ACL.
Yeah, that's what John was saying, but we haven't got reports of that yet, so I'm kind of hoping that's not the case.
Let's hope not, because I think he deserves a rematch, especially if people keep saying, "Hey, he won that fight. This is bullshit." I mean, look at what they're doing already. They're giving Yoel Romero the title shot on a 3-fight losing streak. They're going to give Jose Aldo the title shot after losing his bantamweight debut. Why not? Give Reyes... I think Reyes deserves the rematch. Dana White said it himself. He probably does deserve the rematch. But does it happen?
Yeah, we don't know.
If we get a first-round knockout next weekend with Corey Anderson, I don't think so.
It's true.
I don't think so.
Well, especially if his knee's blown out.
Mm-hmm.
Then Corey Anderson's the only guy.
Yeah, and
you got two title contenders. Both their knees are blown out, and then you got Corey Anderson. You don't have much after that, man.
Yeah, because Thiago Santos probably only needs one fight to come back and get a title shot, especially if he wins. Especially if he wins it by spectacular knockout, which I expect him to.
Well, and I'm even on the train that he should have gotten an immediate rematch had his knees not blown out.
Yeah,
I would have given the rematch on that fight.
Yeah. but he would have to fight sooner. It's just he's out too long.
Oh, yeah, of course. Well, that's why they did this. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, had his knees not blown out, I would have been okay with an immediate rematch because that fight was close in my eyes.
Yeah, I understand that
but
for sure.
This one was just close. Now that we have this, well, let's see the rematch for this one, too.
Yeah.
Because one thing about Jon Jones, you might be able to get close to him the first time, but the second time he shows up, he learns your game plan, and he fixes his holes in his game, and that's why he's elite. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, man, I think it's time to wrap it up, man. That was a great episode.
Yeah, really fun. It was a great card.
Great card, man. Really entertaining card. Totally worth the $65. Totally worth the $85 if you became a fresh ESPN Plus subscriber. Really excited for next week's card, man. Blachowicz, Anderson too. This fight's big, and it's going to have a lot of ramifications for this light heavyweight division. And a possible number one contender match for sure. Mm-hmm. So very excited for that. But everybody.
So before we go, fight of the night.
Oh, fight of the night.
Who'd you have? What was your fight of the night?
I'm gonna have to go Reyes versus Jones.
Yep, same.
It's my fight of the night for sure. It was so close, and it was such a great fight, and it was a very entertaining fight too. Jon Jones, especially in his last fight, I really did not find that Santos fight very entertaining. It's just. I think maybe I was suffering a little bit of PTSD after that Ben Askren knockout, but I just did not find that fight entertaining. This fight was very entertaining though. I really, really enjoyed that fight, so it's definitely my fight of the night. Knockout of the night, it's gonna go to Journey Newsom, man. 38-second TKO, great big giant right hand, and he's a local boy. Sign me up. I want to see this guy in Portland.
All right,
make it happen. Sounds
good. Well, that concludes our episode, our recap show for UFC 247, Jones versus Reyes. My name is Mason Knight. That is Tabor Cregan. You can follow our social media pages, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of it. Go to @The Church of MMA, The Church of MMA. You can find our podcast on Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, and Stitcher. Be sure to check out our YouTube channel too. Subscribe to that. Type in The Church of MMA. We shall be there. So that's it.
Comment any questions, guys. We're going to ask you any fan questions. Easy. Just leave us a comment anywhere. We'll answer it. All right. Later, guys.